Rascal here, and today we're going to kind of be doing more or less a Q&A style workbench chat today. So we're going to answer the questions that have been asked to me on the forum and try and help out as many people as I can here with the questions they've asked. Alright, let's get into it. What mods are planned for Project Shop Truck? Well, the main one is I'm still considering a hard body. I know, guys, this is, and it was just getting it bigger for you so y'all can see in there on it. Thought about this truck, which, I mean, as y'all can see, it's kind of got all that on there, you know, what they're showing, but then I've also thought about, I glanced at it and I said, nope, that's the body right there. That one will be perfect, and then once all this pretty paint gets scratched up on it, yeah, it kind of looks to me like an old rock and roll, 80s rock and roll themed truck. Well, yeah, rock and roll themed paint job on an 80s themed pickup. So I figured that would be part of it. The other thing that's on the plan for it is this right here, a hacked fly sky transmitter with 8 channels. So that was the plan on that. Next question, what are plans for Bud 90? Well, a Defender 90. Biggest plans are wheelbase and axle, you know, links to adjust a wheelbase to where I want it, axles to kind of get it, to give it the right look, and then either this one, which, you know, or, right, it's right here, trying to hold y'all off to the side so it don't jar too bad, or that one there. Price on it, it's a hard body, see, extra speed D90 hard plastic body kit version 2 for 10th scale crawler. It's down to $49.90 where it was $53.90. So that would be a bit of a saving on that one. So, but I'm gonna sit back and see if it comes down a little more. It usually does. It's 6 left in stock, so we'll see where that goes. Probably just keep looking and waiting. Alright, on to the next question. And the plans for Outlaw. There really aren't that many plans for that truck as of right now. I mean, nothing that's actually set in stone other than, I'm going to get down here, element RC. Okay, I got a K10 grill. No, K10 crawler body from J Concepts. Okay. The Enduro Sendero body. That's the one thing I'm thinking about. That, and then the optional, well, here's the full body set right there, and that's what I'd get. Paint pieces of the of the grill and stuff chrome, so it would actually match what I'm wanting to do for Outlaw. It'll kind of give, for what I'm thinking, that'll give a good offset. As y'all can see, like wiper blades and mirrors would be chrome, but other than that, the grill would still be black, just chrome the headlight buckets. But I'd also thought about trimming out parts of it and then putting like some screen door mesh behind it. Alright, pull y'all back off to the side for a second. Here. No. Hold there. Hold that. Tires. No. Give me just a second, guys. Bring y'all down to look at my foot. Alright. Sorry about that. I had to get something to drink. Now, scroll till I see what I'm looking for. Wait. Would help if I was on the right size, wouldn't it? There we go. All right. Prolines, they'll be probably about page 3. Nope, not quite that high up. Close. Always the way. Always the way. There we go. We're getting closer. Here we go. That set of tires right there, those Proline Interco TSL SX Super Swamper 1.9 Rock Crawler tires, they're the ones we're looking at for Outlaw. Only because, you know, Outlaw, I want to build him kind of like a Class 1, and the maximum tire size is 4.19 overall diameter. So basically, scale terms, nothing but a 42. So in the specifications, the height is 4.3 or 109 millimeter. So that's why we're going to build Outlaw to a just over the Class 1 specifications. Do you still run the stock servo in Project Shop Truck? No, I do not. I have a aftermarket 20 kilo non-waterproof servo in it, so yeah, it ain't exactly easy steering. We'll just say that. I mean, it's got the power and the torque to turn the the big tires I got on the truck, because for those of you who've seen the truck but don't know what tires are on it, I'm going to see if I can find that set here. Alright, we gotta wait on it to load. Slow freaking internet thing going on. It works. It's working. Alright. I'm gonna have to go back a page because it's not on this page. No, here they go. So it's rocking the Axial Maxxis Trapidors, and they are good grippy tires, but the thing on Project Shop Truck is the front, well, it's a dual 3-link. It's that wishbone 3-link in it, and that top wishbone 3-link is made out of some really flexible plastic, and it's a chassis mounted servo, so when you twist it, when you go to steer it right or left, the whole frame just shifts out from over the truck. So I've thought about taking several of the older, less working ones I have, or slightly working ones, and trying to make one for that truck of my spare parts being servos, but I just haven't done it yet. I won't be losing nothing. It's all parts. And by answering that question, I started on answering question 5, which is, what tires do you run on each of your trucks? Because mostly I'm in Georgia, and my number one enemy around here is red clay. I prefer the RC 4-wheel drive Interco IROX, TSL IROX is my preferred tire. With my preferences, like the TSL the Interco TSL boggers and TSL swampers run in conjunction with each other, so it'll actually, I like the swampers up front, so when you turn, it's not full. You got enough paddle on the outsides of the tire that'll it'll pull, but it's got that center rib in it right there. Let's see if I can get y'all in good enough to see them with this camera. But that center rib, when you're turning in clay, it actually does help you keep control. That's something I have seen from experience with this stuff. And whereas like these Trapidors or the Mickey Thompson Baja TTCs, they do work because they create enough of a paddle motion when they're working to do it, but it just, they don't clean out, they're not as self-cleaning as they could be for working in clay. But when it's shell rock, which is another one of my many nemesis for dirt terrain, it works. And I've accumulated quite a bit of knockoff BF Goodrich crawlers. Well, knockoff KM2s. I kind of like them. Kind of like these a little bit. These are some KM2s right here. These are officially licensed KM2s by Axial, but also, are they on this page? No, they're not. They're not on this page. Or are they? No, they're not. Go back a page. These are the tires I'm running on Bud 90, the RC 4-wheel drive dirt grabber 1.9s, the scale tires. I wanted something that didn't get a lot of grip for that truck and clogged up. And these are like the KM3s, KO3s, something like that. BF Goodrich. Yeah. Like I said, those are good in the mud, but they don't really work that well in my terrain. Not when it's wet. When it's dry, they do pretty good, but like I say, not in the weather we're having right now. Those would be good. Actually, those would be better than. Only thing is, they're super small for a mud truck in my area. Those are super small, and they're the RC 4-wheel drive Mudslinger 1.9s. Yeah, they're too small. The licensed Interco boggers are bigger, taller. They're not as wide, but they're taller, and that's really what you need when you're in clay and mud is tall, skinny tires. Or at least in my style, clay and mud, you need tall, skinny tires. But yeah. All right. Now, the one question I actually love to see, and it gets me to set up for the next set of questions here, so. Just give me a moment here. Here we go. Now, give me just a second to scroll down till I see the truck I'm looking for, and then we will read the question and I will answer it. All right. And it's, what would be your ultimate RC scale, your ultimate RC trail truck? That one right there in stock form, the RC 4-wheel drive Marlin Crawlers Trail Finder 2 1/10 scale 4-wheel drive RTR rock crawler. It has a shorter bed, bobbed bed, the more aggressive looking front end. It's still 4-wheel leaf springs, but you get the lighter leaf springs, so it's even flexier than what it is. And it's not overly aggressive, and it's not underly aggressive. It's a nice little. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on them. Those appear to be nice little semi-aggressive crawlers. But yeah, it ain't coming in the price range anytime soon. Unless I get a heck of a discount code for what is it? Hang on, guys. Give me just a second. It was down here once upon a time ago. Oh, yeah. Unless I get a heck of a good discount code by A-Main. So, yeah. Ooh, geez. They finally made those available? Guys, Traxxas released these about 6 months ago. 6 months to a year ago, something like that. I think it was 6 months ago these have been released. I've been watching them over at RC Crawler when they first when not Crawler RC Mark first got these trucks in. That's been about 6 months ago. They got them in around the first of the year. Each one of these were quite expensive. Well, I say quite expensive. RC Mart had them, I think, around $500 each. And RC Mart cannot ship anything by Traxxas to the United States. So scrolling through now and seeing these G-Wagons for sale in the US, I'm honestly quite happy. Now, again, it's got the portals. It's a TRX4 underneath. It's a TRX4, but this blue one's good enough for you to see. Let's see if my finger will work in here. I like the wheels on them, and I love the way that G-Wagon body looks. And guys, I'm not a big fan of Mercedes G-Wagons, but I like the way that Traxxas G-Wagon looks. So that was side note for the day, guys. So, side note and a little bit of cool information just by me scrolling through and looking while doing a Q&A. Alright. And fella also asked me what sub $200 crawler would I recommend. Well, I messaged him back and asked him what he planned on doing with it. And he said basically just a good cheap all-purpose truck. So for that, let me go back to lowest price here. And we're going to start off here at Hobbytown because, well, Hobbytown, A-Main, it's all the same place, but I use Hobbytown website. Reason for it is back in the early 2000s, Hobbytown used to have a brick and mortar in my area. Small little place. Mostly they done a lot of electric trains back then when I was into the electric trains. But I kind of got out of that. So that was another bit of ancient history for y'all. Well, I'd say main thing is if you're really wanting sub $200, I'd get an SCX 24 1/24th scale micro crawler, whatever, if you wanted to go that route. But or even the Yeti, the Axial Yeti Junior 18th scale. Those are a couple of trucks I've looked at, but my main one I would say would be one of these two. They're both the Red Cat Everest 10 rock crawler. They're the twin vertical plates because I don't call them a chassis when it's a plate that stops just at before the wheel arch. But yeah, right there between the wheel arches is the chassis. It's a chassis plate. Basically, this is a good mud truck. I had one. It was a great mud truck. But you got the Gen 8 pre-assembled chassis that's right there at the $169 range. You got well, they're no longer in production. But then you got these here. You got the Team Associated CR12s. They're pretty good. They're basically just a rebrand. From what I've looked at and the parts I've looked at, it's just a brand name put on the old what do I want to say? The RGT Rock Cruiser, the whatevers. There's a few more other brands in there. It's just one of those chassis with a licensed body put on it and Team Associated electronics inside. Then, if you're really just wanting to get into something crawly, a MOA style crawler, there's the Rock Slide RS10, which is a pretty good thing. But also, why really, because you get the SCX 10.2 Raw Builders kit that comes in now. the guy who had asked me about my recommendations for something under $200, he's been into he told me he's been into all ends, including drifting and I think he said some short course work. So if you still got your short course stuff, short course tires and wheels, you could do a brushless unit out of a drift car. I mean, it'd work for one of these crawlers. Work pretty good. And unless you want one that's just straight up something you can play with right out of the box and abuse it, I would get this if you really absolutely wanted something. Like the Red Cat Everest Gen 7, most likely, or flop back over to here, go back to page 1. There you go, sorry about that. All this flip-flopping back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And some that come in just over is, I would say, the Remo Hobbies. They're good stuff. They appear to be good stuff. Another one that's right there at it, and a friend of mine on the forums, he seems to be quite happy with it, is this HG P407. That's what, there's a friend on the forums, Walter, he's got one he seems to be quite happy with. The HG P402 or 403, they're good. They're real good as far as for what I've seen. My friend Magnat, the guy who runs the MagnatFied forum, he bought the 404, which is the same chassis as the 403 and the 402. They all have the same chassis. Same tires and wheels as the 403. It's just got a Toyota Land Cruiser body instead of the Hummer body that the 403 has. Another one. I would definitely recommend these little boogers. You can get parts for them fairly easily if you dig through Banggood. Don't rely on eBay or anything like that for spare parts. Banggood's the place to find the spare parts for that thing. But as far as for the 402 recommendations on that, I wouldn't recommend buying it assembled. I would recommend buying it put in this, like this. I'd recommend buying it like this if you bought the 402, which is just the pre-assembled chassis. Then you can put your own body on it and put your own motor and all the electronics in it. And if I had to do it over again, that's the way I'd buy it right there. But then again, I'm looking at a different body, and with the electronics and all I'd put into it, I'd probably be at about $150 in it. But whatever. But I'd say if you really want a sub $200 crawler, I'd go this route. Then you can get you a body for it for what, RC Mart for like $20. Paint it and put it on there and hit the trails when you put your electronics in. I mean, that would be the way I'd do it to come out under the $100 mark. What else? I think I got some more down here. Page 3. Yeah. Some just over. The HSP RGT. That's good. The VXR Racing. That's another one I would recommend on that because it's the same thing as, looking at it, the VXR is the same thing as the RGT, just different bodies. I've been watching this thing here for the HB Toys. It is still a toy grade, but with a few minor modifications, it's a good little truck from what I've seen on YouTube. And these here, I haven't seen anything about them, but they look interesting enough. Probably be something I might wind up looking into later on. Gotta go forward another page. Nope. Forward once more. Alrighty. Oh well. Forward another page. Guys, I apologize this video taking so long. Skip 2 pages. And watch me skip the page I need to be on. Yeah. Right here. I'd probably, both of these are right in that $200 range. Mine is $200, $220, you know, right in there. I would recommend. I've looked at them. Again, they appear to be the same as the RGT Pro series for the length and all that, but I'd probably go that route. I mean, I just like the truck bed, and it kind of looks like a Cherokee in a way. But then you got that one there, which also pretty good. Or they look to be pretty good, but that's that. But then also, when I come over here, I'm going to go back to their homepage. We're back over at RC Mart. For kits. And I always look at truck stadium trucks because you get pretty good stuff in that group there. I mean, if you're looking for just a good basic trail truck, look there. But for what he told me he was looking for, we're going to look at these here. Now they got the 3 Racing with the what's that, Land Rover body looks like for $153. I would, because this one here is the old one. This is not the new one, or at least they got the picture of the old one there. And the description don't say it's the new one. It's for $229. If I was y'all, I'd jump on that. That's that old SCX10. I'd jump on that and keep it in a box, man. It's worth it. That'd be a good shelf queen. If that's the old SCX10, not the SCX10-2. If that's the 10-2 deadbolt, yeah, I wouldn't mess with it. Now, from what I've heard, okay, it's $239.99 here. From what I've heard over on Scale Builders Guild, the forum, not their YouTube page, this is an interesting, to say the least, an interesting kit from what I've seen pictures of and talked to the guys over there about. Very interesting. Yeah. But another one is the Tamiya CC01 is another truck I would definitely recommend in a minute because I have seen what it can do. And again, if y'all don't believe me, I'm going to leave 2 links down below tonight. Down below is going to be the MagnatFied forum link, and it's also going to be a link to Magnat's channel. In fact, I'm going to leave a link to one of his videos where he took that CC01 and done some stuff with it. Y'all need to watch because it'll tell you CC01 is a pretty reliable truck. I've watched him beat it up pretty good. So, yeah. And he's got a few more questions for me. The guy who asked me the first set of questions. But wait, before I jump too far ahead, the fellow who asked me the last few questions also asked what my opinion of rebuildable motors was. And my statement is, I like them. I really do, but we want the full motors. Maybe I need to go back. Hang on. Let's see what this thing's going to do. It's going to give me the... here we go. Helps when you click on the right place. Alright. Now, these RC four-wheel drives are sealed cans. They're good if you keep them greased, but if you're really into the whole Superman maintenance sort of stuff, I'd go that route. You want one that can take a little bit more abuse. This one right here, the Hakmoda 23 turn. I've got one of them. I have completely abused that motor, and it has taken it. In the lifespan of my Red Cat Everest 10, I burnt up I actually had this motor here in it. The RC four-wheel drive 540 sealed can brushed 27 turn motor. And I wore out all the bushings in that motor. Just wore them out. And it chewed up a set of gears. So I bought that motor, put the truck back together. And then I wound up wearing all the bearings out in the axles. So decided just to call it quits on that truck. Scrapped it out and still got the motor laying around, and I also put a Hobby Wing 1060 in that truck. That Hobby Wing 1060 is now in Bud 90, so that's where that part went off to. Now the next fellow's asking me, what would you say is the weak point of the HG P402? The weak point is the professional that put the thing together, in my opinion, because I'm going to answer your question 1 and 2 1 and 4 at the same time, the best I can. Which question 4 in this one is, how did you break the 402 axles in the first place? Was it easy or did it take some effort? The first axle, was, again, it was part of the professional who put the truck together. They didn't set the bearing, the bushing, the rubber bushings in it just right on the first axle, so it kept making that rear axle two-wheel drive, and it kept making the rear axle one-wheel drive. Excuse me, not two-wheel, but one-wheel. And that was a serious problem. Three-wheel drive truck trying to do some insane cross camber stuff, it don't work when you got tires off the ground. And far as for the second one, it was, I'll take partial blame for that because I did hook the rear bumper into a briar as big around as my pinky. So we did tear it up. I tore it up off camera. I tore it up. But when I got looking at it, as you're looking at the rear axle, and And another thing, Magnat, I'm going to go ahead and answer another question. Where do I buy parts? I buy them here on Banggood, where I bought the truck. Okay, go back to page 15. Nope, 14. You know what? We're going to sort this out. Low to high. Here we go. Umbrella gear. Well, that ain't the umbrella gear. That's the small bevel gear. That's another small bevel gear. Yeah, I find a bunch of parts and stuff here on this website, guys. So there's the umbrella gear for it. I didn't pick into all that, but I got looking at, by the time you get through with the 2 gears and the shipping, you can just go ahead buy a complete rear end. Now, I'm going to click on this rear end and bring it up, get it halfway blown up for y'all so I can show y'all the screws. Alright. Now, this side here is the side that goes toward the front of the truck. Let's see if we can get the turned around. Here we go. That screw right there, when I noticed it was loose and it had pulled out almost like it had been over tightened. This is on the second one that was also professionally built. Had been over tightened, and I think it stripped, and I'd got it into some water, and it had water. When I pulled it apart, it had water mixed in with the grease in there. So, but yeah, as far as for trying to get parts for it, I just replaced the parts that are broken. I mean, if you blow up the umbrella gear and the bevel gear, but your main drive gear is still good after you've blown all that up, you're good to order you a new axle. And if you blow up the drive gear comes loose, you just replace that. And another thing, let me scroll down a little bit so I can pull them up for you. Those there are not 5 millimeters thick. They're either 3 or 4 millimeters thick. They're not thick enough to fool with, you know. There you go. There's a better picture of it. That one there was the one that was loose. So, all right. Well, I'm showing you all that. You can see. There you go. Banggood.com. That's where I get it out. Get all of them out. Now, question 3. What parts do I need to get at least one of my projects done? Well, for the 3 I got sitting around to get finished up, project shop truck for right now, he's running. Just need to refill the tank again after today's nice run, so that way I can give y'all a good run tomorrow. Maybe show y'all that one. Do a run, show y'all that. That'll be something kind of fun to do. Yeah, man, what a view is all I can tell you. For those of you who are not members of the forum, man, what a view I got to see today. And y'all are going to get to see a beautiful one. A beautiful view tomorrow, hopefully. But alright, I'm going to wrap it up there. Peace. Catch y'all in the next one. Y'all have a nice day. As always, links to the other stuff's going to be down below, guys. Catch y'all later.